Well, as of today, it is 22 people now. I haven't cured anybody. I just kind of, I guess, maybe gave them the right information to help them cure themselves. You know what I mean? Or learn how to 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 live a better life with whatever disease they might have had. A better life, way better. Non-medication free. You know what I mean? Just got away from all the medication. All natural. It's just awesome. Well, I got a call. After a long night of research and then having to, think about work within not even an hour of sleep, or maybe little bit more than that, or a little less. I don't know. I got a phone call. I talked to them. Shoot, 11 months ago, man. You lose track, who you talk to. And, me personally, I try to give everybody, that I talk to, or I help, or, my undivided attention, but I've learned that, it's really kicked my ass, I tend to care about people that I do not know, and it frustrates me when I know they should be doing something and they're not. Or, you know what I mean? It's just hard, it's hard for me to get that separation, you know what I mean? It's just a weird thing for me because I tend to care and I tend to give a shit, and then it hurts, and it's just something that I wasn't prepared for, was never prepared for this, I didn't think about this before. This was never supposed to be what it is, Well, anyway, her husband's a doctor. I knew a little bit about him, but not too much because the majority of the talking I did was with the wife. And today I got a call from this husband, and it's kind of a weird kind of a thing for me because I've gotten ridiculed. I've had doctors literally straight out tell me that that you're gonna kill you're gonna kill your wife. Wow, and to see, within, a few weeks' time, two specialists, a radiologist, and then, this man who's I believe he's a brain surgeon or something like that, and he was just, yeah, he was more than happy. Okay, let's just say that. I talked to him again on the way home. I went to go play ball and kind of hit, in the heart, because he said he had to hear my laugh one more time. What the fuck is that? But anyway, it's funny. But he just thanked a lot. And he. I always told him, it's funny with doctors, not general practitioners, but I'm talking about specialists in general. They get that godlike mentality, why? Because they get good at what they're supposed to do. See, but the thing is, what they're supposed to do is here, it's in that box, They forgot about what doctors were really here for, and they forgot old school methods, and they were never really taught to believe, or try, and he took a real big leap of faith, man. It freaks me out today. I saw that video that I hadn't seen in a minute now, and a friend posted, and it took me straight back, man. I literally, was, crying on the way home, trying not to watch, but I was just listening to it, the headphones, and it just, that feeling, that emotion, that time, it's like, wow, I don't wish that on anybody, never. But it's something that, we had to go through. But these things all happen within, a short period of time again, and that's a trip, because, I might not, I had kind of keep on telling myself, I'm done. I'm just tired. I need a break, I just can't do this anymore, I need to spend time with her. I accomplished what I was supposed to try to do. I don't know how I did it. My love's 22 weeks cancer free, no chemo, breast cancer in the bone, terminal. They told me I had a year and a half, maybe, with her. Everybody doubted, even my mother. You know, everybody thought I was losing my mind. Lost a lot of weight. And maybe I did lose my mind for a bit, but fuck. You know, the information I tend to store, you know what I mean? I learned some weird shit, you know, and the majority of the shit that I end up learning tends to kind of push in the right direction, you know, and it's a trip how things work, man. And I've talked to some pretty amazing people, you know, in a short period of time. I'm a dude from Santa Fe Springs, you know, who was just basically set out to save his love. Nobody else wanted to. Nobody. So, in turn, I did it. But I was never meant to do this for, you know what I mean? Like I was supposed to, you know, this group, I played ball. And I played a lot. My girl got sick. I was playing in a really, really big super tournament, supposedly, you know, that week. I believe it was a LASD bracket tournament out in the Poway, Santee. It was a real big tournament. We had. Anyway, I wasn't gonna go. She, no, you're going. You know, sure enough, people started showing up at the house, and I was gone. I made a sign out of a Bud Light box, tore it up, and wrote "fuck cancer" on it. Went out to go play ball. First team we beat, I asked them to take a picture with it. And then from there, you know, it was a fucking way emotional moment. You know, I mean, it just seems like everybody, it was ridicule at first, and then they laughed. And then, well, what the fuck are you laughing at? Well, you don't have a mother, sister, brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, niece, nephew? You don't have nobody on this earth? Because the chances are one of them are going to fucking get cancer. And he just, two guys stood up. And I thought, wow, okay, it's time, you know. So I kind of just turned sideways and like, well, what, like, you know, what's up? And put their heads down, and he's one of them. My aunt got cancer, and the other one, he's on my. I lost my homie to cancer, and I was like, you motherfuckers should be standing next to me, not laughing at me. And the whole team, they were Samoans, believe it or not, and they started, you know, chanting I believe it was a prayer or something, but they all circled me, and at first I thought, I was like, fuck, I'm getting jumped kind of deal, you know. And it was a real kind of a whoa, you know, because these are grown big fucking men. Everybody's crying because they can see early on what I was trying to do without me really even knowing I was trying to do something, you know what I mean? My trip was always about waking people up. And it was really mostly based at women. You know, wake up, go get yourself checked. Make sure you're on top of it. Don't believe what they tell you. Ask to do scans. Ask to make sure. You remember, they don't control you. You control them. They work for you. You know, and people forget, you know. We learned the hard way. But I believe, you know, through this, you know, through all this, it helps people. It helps somebody. Never really kind of got the whole vibe down on, you know, people calling me or thanking me or, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just a weird fucking thing for me because, you know, there's just a lot of shit, you know. I talk to a lot of people, you know, all the time. You know, I mean, literally my phone's always on. Somebody's always calling me. Somebody, you know, I mean, for a while there it was just, I had 2 weeks with no phone. My phone broke. I could have got a phone. I just wasn't in a hurry to go get it, believe it or not. And that 2 weeks was fucking awesome, man. Not in the sense I wasn't talking to anybody because I lost everybody's number. I lost all my friends, you know what I mean? Literally contacting anybody. Got to see some guys tonight. Thank God one of them called me today. My boy Caveman. Got to see my cousin Keith, you know, play ball a little bit and just, you know, it was way cool, you know, and he could tell that I was kind of spun, you know, and I was just like, you know, man, my heart's all fucking going crazy right now, dog, you know. He looks at me, well, because I went over to this guy's house, and this was that same time that I talked to them, and I talked about them with this guy's family, and, you know, was asking them, you know, I mean, because it was hurting, you know, I was feeling, you know, way too much, and it was too much. You know, mind you, this guy's a fucking OG gangster, ball-headed, you know, big-ass cholo, and heart, though. I mean, heart. And him and his wife, you know, They're just awesome people. The whole time I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my love. I just could not, I don't know about you guys. What would you do? I mean, really think about it. If they tell you, it's not working, she has cancer again and it's terminal, and they're going to have to do the bone fusion surgery on her back and try to remove the tumor, but then there's going to be 5% of the tumor left, and that's what they're going to radiate. But then we got to put her on all these kinds of chemos and radiations and all this shit that they were planning on doing to her. But there was no guarantee that it's going to work, though. What would you do? And they couldn't stop emphasizing that it was terminal. I had no choice, man. In my garage, I went. 11 months time. Tommy, Rick. From there, it went to it went to Canada. From Canada, it went to France. From France, it went to Germany. And Germany, I was actually talking to a professor for probably about 4 or 5 months, man. And that was about the time that I was pretty much losing my mind. I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating. It was all reading and reading and reading because nobody else was doing this. Nobody. So that's how it all started with the Bud Light box sign. And then people started taking pictures, and then from there it was just all over the place. And then I started learning this, and I never was supposed to learn anything, but I learned for her. But then I realized, God, granted me the ability to attain and then retain a lot of information about what we can do, and then in turn, like I said, I've met so many different people, people that are all natural, holistic, supplement deals. There's so many alternative deals that we can do as a people to take care of ourselves. You gotta remember, this whole medical program, it's a business. It's pharmaceutical industry based, it's money. It's derived by money. Sincerely, I understand a lot of general practitioners, they're really good doctors, I've seen a few in my time. And, we have those, doctors that we always want to keep, it's awesome. But, what if it was just them treating you to make you better, or mask it, so to speak, and then, because they know you're going to get sick later in life. Well, that's the thing, they don't, when it comes to cancer or really non-curable diseases in general, they never look for the root of that particular disease, where it came from. They just wait for it to get to where it's at, and then you have cancer. And this is what we got to do. We're going to have surgery. As soon as we get out, it should be blah, 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 then we're going to go radiation or chemotherapy, and then we're going to go radiation. Okay, so, they have a plan already set up. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You got to understand, federally based, money's there. Guaranteed money. It's there. It's just waiting to get billed on. And basically what it is they let you get sick enough to treat. They don't care, it's not about caring. We've seen someone, hi, how are you guys? Yes, sit down. Well, this is what we're gonna do. You know what? It really here. Get the fuck out of here. Are you really kidding me? They let my love get sick again. And I watched it happen. That's the part that fucking was really for me. Because once I learned it, once I learned what I needed to know, I knew that her cancer had a 98% chance of coming back, and coming back severe, if not terminal. They never told us that. Why? Don't you think a patient should know that? I'm really, think about it. Wouldn't you want to know that? Why? Because you know what? He wanted to run his protocol. He knew there was really no chance. There's only one particular drug, chemo / hormone based deal called Herceptin, that would keep her alive, but she would be on that for whatever short period of life she has left. They have no cure for cancer. They don't. or they don't want to. There's no money in the cure. Money in the meds, man. And we and our loved ones suffer for it. Well, I'm mean, tired, emotionally spent, happier than fuck, man. But it's just like, this was never supposed to really be anything. So it's not like I feel like I don't take credit for what it is, because this group, the whole Fuck Cancer family, this all started real soon, not too long ago, I should say. I had to, because, I didn't realize there was like 7 or 8 other Fuck Cancers out there, and I wanted to do something that was just ours, This started so that way my love wouldn't feel alone. That way she could talk to people that, fought that particular disease or something else, or survivors, or even, it ultimately turned into a place, that, you say goodbye, you could remember, it was weird. It got bigger than us, the group, they took a life of its own. They were talking to each other, helping each other. And that to me was the wow. Because it was like, boop, 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 and I'm looking at the phone going like, look, love, and she was just like, wow, love. Because that's family. I might not know any of you, in the sense of, personally, fuck, man, if you were in front of me, I'd be giving you a fucking hug. I'm just, I'm overwhelmed at the sense of love I've gotten from people, I've gotten a lot of shit over the years, a lot of people talk shit. A lot of people talk shit. A lot of people doubted. A lot of people made fun of, ridiculed while she was dying. That's something, it was people, my close friends, my, friend, love and whatever, always, you gotta let go, put that hate away, you shouldn't hate, but that's, ask yourself, if that was something you would be able to really forgive. Think about it. I'm sorry, I can't, my heart is just hardened for you did what you did, it's just a trip what I've been through, in the sense of all this shit. I've been highs, lows. And you can tell I'm like all over the place, because my heart is just spent with all this stuff that, I talked about so much stuff today. And within the last, 4 weeks, 3 different people, including 2 that, were really, really bad, are cancer free. They were going to die. And, people doubted, and they took basically a leap of faith, and they tried something because it was working for my love, or, it wasn't even, then it was like, it's a trip. You gotta remember, okay, when we started doing all this stuff, it was all because this is what we're going to do. There was nobody holding my hand. Nobody was, hey, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 It wasn't like that. Not at all. So don't think that, it was something that, it wasn't like that at all. I took the leap just like anything else, but I researched. I sought to go find information. I literally was all over this damn globe talking to people on what they thought. But ultimately, my research led me to Madrid. I had literally a specialist email me, and this and that. Ultimately, we spoke, and the whole time these people thought I was a doctor. I find that hilarious, because he was asking if I would go there and implement my protocol. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, so anyway, it's funny that this all happened today, because here I'm having a really shitty day. Shitty last couple days. It hasn't been really cool. And frustrated, And then dealing with people that I've been trying to help, are, leaving me, messages that are, are mean, or, that, I didn't have a phone. I'm sorry. I have a life. I have a home. I like to be able to spend some time with my love sometimes, I'm trying to help everybody as much as I possibly can, but there's only so much I can really do. I've lost literally a total, I cannot believe this, how much weight I've lost. I've lost literally 89 pounds today. It's funny because, I'm not trying to lose weight. It's just my stomach's always in knots. When you feel it, like you're worried, you're antsy, you're irritable, I'm tired, I'm not really sleeping that well, I'm not really taking anything, I can't take that stuff, because, well, in the beginning it was always because I was worried about my love, if she needed me, I had to be there, I had to wake up, I had to, because there was nobody else here. So I did what I did. I helped all these different people. I've gotten ridiculed. Some of them have just been horrible. Some have been great. People I've had to distance from throughout the years. It's just, a culmination of everything, these last, gosh, how many years now that it's been a while. But my heart is just overwhelmed at this point right now. And I just wanted to tell all you guys, thank you so much. I get messages from people all the time. People just, saying hi, it's an awesome thing, people are obviously always shocked that, she's cancer free. It's like, I tell people, like, oh, it worked. And, first thing they say is, you did it, Jerry. I didn't do anything, That's when, he was crying. This man, he's a doctor, he went to med school, he went to specialist school, and been a doctor for quite a while, and for him to literally, he put it out there and cried, and whew, it just makes me, step back a whole bunch of fucking steps, man. Because, until you're in that spot where, every day your girl is dying and there's not a fucking thing that anybody wants to do about it, then, maybe you can feel what I feel. And it just, whoa, it was a roller coaster again, but it brought me to tears, I was crying, I was happy for him, because that's ultimately been the goal. If I can help people avoid the bullshit my love has been through, then, I did something. I'm trying. But, this man just, he knocked my socks off, and he just like, he wanted to hear my laugh, I was like, what? And he goes, dude, just laugh for me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And he was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's I guess he's so used to people talking to him a certain way. Well, you know what? I can raise the bar, lower the bar, depending on who I'm talking to. It doesn't matter, but if you're somebody that I'm helping, it's funny that because I always tell the people that, that I'm helping, that I go, I cuss. I cuss a lot. My favorite word is fuck, if you don't know that by now. Just tab it. I don't know. It's not intentional, but it's just... so I get that out there early, and I tell them if this is a problem, maybe we should stick to texting, but it's going to be really hard for me to do what I do via text. I've dealt with... I've talked to very religious people, atheists even, pastors, priests, LAPD, sheriffs. What would you do? I did whatever I had to do. And then I just basically taught people how to do it. How to eat, what to drink, how to just try to stay alive. never thought, never thought in the wildest minute, man, that, people would be calling me and then really, thanking me and, you know, that, that their love is alive because of me. I didn't do anything, I just probably stayed up for 3 or 4 days, researching for whatever, but nothing in the sense of, what he's, what he's trying to give, It's just an awesome thing, it really is. I'm just, kind of touched and overwhelmed at this point right now because it works. If you do it right, it works. It can pretty much cure almost all non-curable diseases in the sense of blood diseases. You got to remember when it comes to cancer or any disease, before it's labeled that particular disease, it came from somewhere. That's what we need to look for. What's going on now? Because what's going on now is going to ultimately lead to something. We'll find out what something is. What do you need to do next? And before I knew it, man, I started just do. Well, I was talking to this doctor, and he was asking me, and I was like, really, are we going to go there, doc? Are we going to really, challenge, each other, that kind of deal? And he goes, no, Jerry. He's all, I get it. And I was like, you get what? And he's all, you're a very intelligent man. I go, no, man, I'm not really. And I go, dude, I barely graduated high school. And he's like, what? I go, I barely graduated high school. I went to college for, a week, maybe? That kid young. He's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, dude, I'm not lying at all. And he's like, get out of here. Are you serious? And I was like, totally. He goes, wow. He just kept on saying, wow, I can't believe that. He's all, how did you do this? He's all, what did you, I was like, do you really want to know how this went down? And he's like, do you have a minute? And I go, well, I'm driving home. And he's like, well, can you talk about it? And I'm like, sure. So I told him, it was a bad deal, my girl was in the hospital. She had the surgery. She could have died anywhere in the first 3 days. It was a real touch and go thing. I didn't sleep. I slept like 4 hours in 6 days. 8, I lost I believe it was 15, 16 pounds in a few days. It was like ultimately 24 pounds in 12 days. Or I was dropping weight. Anxiety, insomnia just basically took over. I could not sleep. In my garage, on my phone, writing, just writing, learning. I was old school on how I basically did this. I couldn't copy and paste all that nonsense. I would read it, write it down, read it, write it down. Before I knew it, I had shit everywhere. But I didn't understand how much I knew then. I couldn't really, put it out there. I didn't know how to put it out there, and basically how to articulate how and what, and what we should, what angles to take it, and that's where the professor in Germany came in, and I was telling him all this stuff, and he was blown away. He's all, we got to get together, Jerry. He's all, I would love to have you come out here, and if you don't mind, I'd like to be able to introduce you to, some doctors out here. And, I'm like, what? That's not me, man. I'm not too hip on that, dude. And he's like, Jerry, this is something you should think about. And I'm like, I'll think about it. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I just learned what they didn't want to learn. And it's a funny thing, because, he's ultimately at the end of that conversation, he, man to man, he thanked me from the bottom of his heart, and he thought he was going to lose his wife, and he's a doctor, and he said he was dying inside. Jerry's all, Jerry, you have no idea how it feels to be a physician. And there was nothing I could do to save my wife. That's what he kept on saying. He's all, I didn't find you. She did. I thought she was crazy. She didn't. I was like, what? She's all, no. She believed in you, Jerry, from the very beginning. For the life of me, I had no idea why. That's what I was like, are you serious? He goes, I looked at your, the page, he's all, I just thought, you're about the whole hype of it. You just talked a big game. And I was like, I'm not, beg your pardon? He goes, I mean, no disrespect, Jerry. He's all, I just thought you were talking a big game that you didn't really have much to back it up. That you didn't know much. You're just kind of copying stuff from people and that kind of stuff. And I was like, really? Wow. I go, that'd be a fucked up thing though, And he goes, why? And I go, because you're playing with people's lives. When I'm talking to somebody, I know that person. I know what's going to happen. And that fucks with me because I know what's coming next. And it really throws me away, And that was something that when I was talking to this woman, I told her, look, I go, do you want me to be nice about it and sugarcoat it? I think right now you've been through enough bullshit. What do you think? I think you've been lied to or told partial truths. What do you think? I go, if you're not ready for that, I think maybe you're talking to the wrong guy. I go, because, I'm tired and I'm fucking pissed off, man. And I don't want anybody else to have to go through this shit. So, and she was like, okay, Jerry, tell me. And I told her, you're going to die. She's like, what? I go, not right now. I go, especially not right now, at least not while I'm here. If I'm helping, you're not going to die. And I go, you're going to be cancer free. 90 days. At the most. Are you kidding me, Jerry? No way. I'm telling you. Yes. In certain instances, radiation is something that, it's a must. Deal with what comes with it, But that's where the supplements, eating right, physical, getting yourself out there, doing stuff, staying in the sun, not indoors in the cold and in the dark. You get that vitamin D, you get it pumping through your skin, those cells activated. Well, tell him this, doctor, and it just was an awesome night, Just wanted to thank you guys. This family has just been it's been a real big trip. You guys are some really good people out there, and if I've helped, or even enlightened, you a bit, then I'm okay.